6'11", Dresser still says it's hard, even though he's a few pounds heavier, still hard for him to tell you and Jacob apart. Does he talk to you about that at all, or you're still doing a lot of the same things, like you did last year?
Yeah, he's still kind of doing the same things.
Yeah.
You can't really tell the difference. I think he's trying to get it a little bit, but yeah, he mostly tells, right off the scale. That's when he can tell the difference.
Yeah.
But I think he's doing what he can for sure.
How excited are you to get going off an All-American season and wanting to build quite a bit off of that?
Yeah, I'm super excited for that. We put a lot of work in over the summer, working with the individual coaches all throughout preseason, and this week's the first week we get to show it. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Last year's season opener being Cleveland State and this year being Stanford, how much different is the preparation?
Preparation's the same. Obviously, I had a lot to learn from last year coming to this year, and I think I got a lot of confidence under my belt and a lot of, things that really helped me. So I think the preparation is the exact same. Just gotta hone it down, and get going.
What did you learn the most from last year coming into this year?
I'd have to say just staying tough in there, mindset-wise, staying tough. You're going to have tough dudes every week. It's going to get hard throughout the season. And obviously, for me, it did a lot of the times. But we pushed through, and it ended up working in my favor. In terms of wrestling, I think I had a lot of development to grow. And, I was obviously a young guy coming in, but I think I worked a lot, with the coaches in the room and pushed with my work ethic. So I think that helped me a lot.
Where have you seen your biggest area of growth from last year to this year on the mat?
On the mat, I think I'd have to say maybe my pace and offense. Really using my gas tank to my best ability. I've been working a lot with Metcalf in that regard, just like getting my hands where I want them, not just misplacing them, being stupid with them, and really working on what works best for me.
You wore down guys a lot last year. Like, that was one thing I think we all know that was known of you, is like you just wear guys down by the third period. It was major decision or tech fall a lot of the time. How have you noticed the hand placement thing make a big difference in the wrestling room, and how are you hoping that translates out on the mat?
Yeah, I think for hand placement, if I get my inside tie or I'm pulling on his head the whole time, I don't have to be on the outside if I don't have to be. Really utilizing the whole 7 minutes or however long the match takes to my best advantage and get them as tired as possible while, still opening up my offense.
What about your growth in the room? I mean, Anthony referred to you as a leader. How have you seen yourself grow in that aspect?
I think me and Jacob specifically, work in the shadows. We always get our work in, in the room. I'm not a big vocal guy. I'm not this big, leader by my voice, but, I like to lead by example. And so in the room, I'm wrestling really hard. If we're doing sprints at the end, I'm making sure I'm going really hard. Trying my best to win them. If I don't win them, I'm getting as tired as I possibly can. So, just I think working and getting really tired every day.
Yeah, coming off such a successful season, how do you deal with some of the high expectations you might have coming into this one?
I try not to think about that because I think that'll throw off my mental. But like I said, I just go in the room every single day, just work really, really hard, and just try to get to where I'm good at, and not focus on what these other guys are doing. So I think that really helps me stay calm and really push me to just keep working hard and keep improving as a person, as a wrestler.
What's it like as a pretty young guy still, seeing so many even younger guys, pushing to be in the lineup, especially in the first bout?
I mean, it's pretty exciting to see. Obviously, Iowa State's developing. that's what that's showing. Iowa State's, coming off of fourth place last year, we're becoming a contender team, and I think all of our guys believe it. Obviously, younger guys believe it. Those guys wrestle with a chip on their shoulder, and they wrestle really, really hard every time throughout all the positions they get put in. So I'm excited for those guys. Yeah.
It's a top 10 AP team. How does that affect how you guys view the matches? Does it change the way you prepare for stuff or?
Like I said, we're just going out there and wrestling really hard. We don't really care about these other teams. We're going out there to wrestle hard and beat them. So I don't think we're too focused on the top 10 team, top 5 team matchup. We're going out there and we're wrestling how we wrestle. So.
Looking ahead a week or two to the NWCA AllStar Classic, what does it mean to you to be selected for that event, and what are you kind of looking for in a rematch with Nasir Bailey?
I mean, it means a lot. Obviously, Dressler kind of told me out of nowhere, and I wasn't really expecting it, but obviously I was really excited for the opportunity. I wrestled him last year. Didn't go in my favor, obviously, but I'm excited to go in this year and, see where I've gotten, try to prove myself and prove that, that wasn't really my best showing. I improved a lot as a wrestler, so that's what I'm excited to go out and do.
Is it difficult at all, or I don't even know if difficult's the right word? You and Jacob are obviously attached at the hip. You guys talk a lot about doing everything together. Is it difficult the way that you were in the starting lineup, so your routine maybe looks a little different, and going into the season, of course, he has to fight for a starting spot. What's that dynamic like for the both of you?
Obviously it's tough. I would love to see him get, his spot out there, and I think he can do that. But in terms of the dynamic, it really wasn't that different. Last year, I'm cutting weight to 33. Obviously, like I was saying, sometimes it got hard. I'm sore, whatnot, but he was in there with me. So, every time I would have to come in, late night, get a workout in, or I'm struggling late night, I got to get a couple of pounds off, maybe after practice, something. He's in there with me. So he was struggling the whole time as I was struggling. So in that regard, the dynamic was pretty much the same.
Obviously, it's a long season. How do you keep yourself, focused and just take it one match at a time?
I'd say honestly, just by taking it one match at a time. As weird as that sounds, but I'm not looking for, 3 competitions out. How am I going to do at the CKLV, or how am I going to do against, Iowa? I'm looking at Stanford. I watched a little film on the guy, and as the weeks progress, I'm just focusing on that guy, focusing on that guy, focusing on that guy, and like Anthony was saying earlier, I'm not, throwing my whole game plan out of the way, or I'm not creating this giant game plan for the guy. I'm focusing on how I can wrestle. Obviously, I'm looking at what this guy likes to do in that aspect, but yeah, I'm just taking it one competition at a time.
Thanks, Evan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Evan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How y'all doing?
Good.
Good, how are you?
Good.